Meet Senor Barca, Mr. Boat as he calls himself, the boatman who's about to take me from the Caribbean island of Colón to Bastimentos Island on Panama's Bocas del Toro archipelago.
It's getting bumpy here. Gracias, Senor Barca.
Thank you.
And that little boat was bouncing up and down into swells, up over the swells. I just knew that any minute I was going to be totally deluged. I just had a thrill ride. It's worth the $5 getting here. This is the town of Bastimentos, sometimes referred to as Old Port, the only town on Bastimentos Island. Very little activity on the streets. Of course, it is midday. Some people may be taking siesta now, for all I know. The town's little town square park, which isn't a square at all. It's just a treed space with benches. Very quaint. There's a number of wooden houses up and down the road that leads out of town, but I don't know if it leads anywhere else because there's nowhere else to travel by road. People come over here to feel as though they're getting away from it all, more than you can feel, even in Bocas Town. Well, that may tell you what you need to know about this place. It says this is Top Road, and there's a scripture citation beneath it. Typical Panamanian Central American houses on stilts, wooden houses, but the living area is on the second floor. Century-old character, I would say. Simple but charming. On the water, directly on either beaches or balconies that hang over the water. The vibe here is very relaxing. No feeling that you're in some seascape that has been captured by tourism. I think a normal kind of village that you would expect on an isolated island such as this. So you see the sign pointing to the Wizard Beach Trail. Well, that's why I've come. To walk the trail across the north end of the island that leads you from the inland side of the island to the ocean side. I looked at this place on a map and could see pretty much where the trail was, but there was no way to really know how to connect to it once it sort of disappeared into the village. And as I continued to walk down the main promenade, I finally came to that sign. Otherwise, I would have walked straight past. Christopher Columbus explored this archipelago, and not only did he name Isla de Drago, or Dragon Island, which is today's Colón Island, or in English, Columbus Island, but he also named this island, and he named it Bastimentos, which means in Spanish provisions, which probably gives you a good idea as to his purpose setting ashore here. The island is about 24 square miles in size. It's about 5 miles long and roughly 2 miles wide. It is largely uninhabited, and that's likely to be the case indefinitely because almost all of the island outside the village are part of the Bastimentos Marine Park, which is both a terrestrial park and an underwater preserve. Considering that the national park was established in the 1980s, very timely because the tourism boom didn't really begin until the 90s. So either someone was very prescient in foreseeing what might happen here, or it was an incredible stroke of luck. I reached the second hilltop, where there is a nice little sit-down area, a very small shelter. There's no breeze where I'm standing now up in these woods, but it is not hot. It is simply humid, and the humidity is off the charts. This park protects the native forests and the mangroves that are here, of course, and a variety of animals, including monkeys, sloths, caiman, crocodiles, along with about 24 or more species of other amphibians and reptiles. And significantly, there's a spot to the south of me along the coast, down from Wizard Beach, where I'm going, that is a special preserve devoted to the protection of endangered sea turtles who use this island as a nesting place from April to September. So there's a lot going on here ecologically. And of course the trail that I'm on is within the boundaries of the park. They are allowing some cattle grazing. There's a fence on either side of the trail. You'll see a few head of cattle. I ascended 2 hills, and at the top of the second hill there was that little canopy that was built there with the benches for hikers, and if memory serves, I believe that that canopy is positioned about halfway between the village and Wizard Beach. I am enjoying an absolutely pleasant hike through this tropical forest. And I know if I were here perhaps early in the morning, I would hear different bird sounds than in the middle of the afternoon. But nonetheless, see what I'm saying? I don't know what those were, but I know they're nothing like what I hear back home. I hear the ocean. Let me see. Yeah. I can hear the beach in the distance. It's like a sort of a thundering roar that you would hear off in the distance. Take a look. You can look up and see the open sky through the gaps, but it is never fully sunny here. Just a wonderful escape, not only for hikers, but for the animals who call this place home. Well, this doesn't qualify as a plantation because it's not been planted. It's just the natural growth of bananas, and not necessarily the kind that we eat. Very tall with thin leaves, and it looks as though it's putting on fruit. Then I can hear the ocean just through the trees up ahead. This place is everything it's billed to be. And the only thing that's preventing it from being a huge tourist hub is the fact that you can't really get to it. It is cordoned off by this national park, and it is on the ocean side or the Caribbean side of this island. Even the taxi boats will not take you here. The tides in the open sea are just too dangerous for them. If you want to get on this side to this beach, you have to hoof it. A spectacular place. Well worth the effort. I walked all the way down to the north end of this beach to where the jungle wraps around on a point. And of course the beach is even more delightful here. A little surprised, but pleasantly so, that you can come to a place like this. That's due in large favor to persons unknown who in the 1980s pushed to have islands like this one largely protected for future generations. You see the locals are where I presume they usually are, both on their porches and balconies, and even in the street wherever there's shade, enjoying a golden Caribbean afternoon. The people here in this community are a native people. They're mostly Creole, and you'll find in the local language that's spoken, it's referred to as gari gari. And it is a blend of the indigenous tongue with English, French, and Spanish. Quite its own thing here. These are basically African origin descendants came here as the result of the slave trade or immigrated to the West Indies and came here for work in the 18th and 19th centuries. Cacao plantations and ultimately banana plantations. In villages like this one, there's not a lot of industry. It's happens to be tourism. Hello, how are you? What is your name?
Mateo.
Mateo. And what is your name?
Jerusha.
Jerusha. Is that your brother? Your friend?
My brother.
Ah.
My primo.
I see. What's your name?
Kaitan.
Ethan. Nice to meet you boys. Okay, bye-bye. No matter where you are, kids are the friendliest of all.